shot in, and then escape, scamper away with the 10 gems, enough to get that countdown going.
Yeah, Beto was playing it to perfection and just keeping a lot of lane energy and passion. Like for me, like that Rosa pick is a great way to bully your opposition, and that's what we saw. I think we're going to probably see it again. Actually, no, we're going to see a bit of a change up. So before Esports is going to be mixing things up then, going with the Tara this time round on the left-hand side lane. Interesting.
Tara tearing through Thales over on the left. That gadget use is going to give a lot of vision advantage to this team, but B4 Esports not able to hold on to the mid, and that's what matters most in the end. 2 gems picked up by Black Lions and 2 more waiting to be claimed. It looks like Vito will be the one who's making his way into the mid. Kind of an interesting opportunity that Black Lions had to establish themselves in the mid there with a 3v2, but not going to take advantage of it, afraid of the crossfire coming in from Adinho and Tufa over there on the left and right side.
Yeah, it's very, very close scathe there for before Esports being forced back in the mid, but I think the Black Lions, for me, their lanes are a bit all over the place. They were far two-sided on the left-hand side and one mid, and there's no one covering that right-hand side lane. Now they've gone and spread out a little bit, and I feel like that would definitely serve them better moving forward so things start to get the momentum and win some of those lanes. But as we say that, Tufa takes the takedown on the left-hand side and survives the mines as well, giving 9-10 gems now to before Esports. Fantastically played so far by them.
Tufa is on fire. Perfect range prediction at BT Zim and can't take any hits at all. He's been able to knock down brawler after brawler and is the perfect opportunity for B4 Esports to clutch the first set of this match so far. Tufa definitely the MVP from B4 Esports on that last round. That perfect use of gadget was able to establish an early lead through being able to see through the pushes, and with that advantage, didn't take it for granted at all, knocking apart Black Lions every chance he got and giving Vito the exact opportunity he needed to get that gym count up. Great job to B4 Esports. Gym grab really was their opportunity to start things turning around, and they have taken full advantage of it.
Yeah, a great set win for them. They needed to win that round to give themselves a little bit of a chance to rethink and slow the pace, because Black Lions was storming through the sets. So to get that one set back 2-1 is going to be such an important thing to do going into our next stage. For me, they might be able to bring this around in Heist. It's definitely the game mode that I think they needed to have as a 4th set, and Sandy Gems is going to be the map.
You saw in that last set that B4 Esports had twice as many kills as Black Lions, and I'm pretty sure that all the kills that Black Lions were picking up were pretty much concentrated entirely on the tank from B4 Esports, doing exactly what was needed there to, not necessarily be the star of the show, but giving the perfect opportunity for the gym carrier to get the job done, playing perfectly to the objective with great coordination all around. So let's see if B4 Esports can keep it together in this second map. It looks like they're going to be playing a bit more aggressively, running Daryl through Adinho to just roll through and get some easy damage off in the safe, while Black Lions are instead going to be playing more for field control here. Long-range damage from that Brock can be deadly, Ark.
Yes, there's a bit of a rush going on here before he was closing the gap, and actually see with a really important takedown there on as the damage is going in here as well. It's a bit of a race. I think they have left someone from before Esports on the safe at the far end as Tufa continues to rain down some damage. A big early exchange, but more or less equal in terms of damage, Woody.
Yeah, slight advantage for B4 Esports here. They were able to get 2 brawlers on the enemy safe and dump it in, but Brock will be almost as good as 2 brawlers combined. That incendiary star power allowing to take even more damage off in the safe from a really long range, so don't count out the Black Lions yet. But wow, Adinho rolling in, has drilled past the defenses, and there's nothing to stop him. He's going on that safe like a madman, fires away, the gadget is out, single digits left, and that's going to be all she wrote. B4 Esports take the first game of this set.
What an aggressive play from Dinho, left completely untouched by Black Lions, and that for me was the big mistake in that round. They really underestimated just how much damage Daryl can do with that reload, that star power, getting all that damage in, and what a quick early round then before Esports and Heist.
Daryl barreling through like a crushinator and dominating that safe with relative ease. Very little defense put up by Black Lions, expecting maybe that they could base race their opponents or, outposition them, but there was no one to stop that Daryl roll. Sending his super straight into action, he got right into the position he needed to be, and that is not what you want when you're on defense. That Daryl can dish out a maximum amount of damage with that double barrel shotgun, and boy, did he do it that first game.
Yeah, Black Lions definitely need to consider this time around their defense and being aware to leaving members of Before Esports on their heist safe, because that is going to be the thing which they've just got to be more aware of. You do not want to make a silly mistake and just leave one person to cause all that devastation. It can be over so quickly if you do.
A bit more jockeying for center control, and that's what Black Lions have got to focus on this game. We do see the Daryl pick coming out of contention here for B4 Esports, so they're also going to be trying to jockey for control of the mid, but it's an advantage early on for Black Lions. 2 kills now just to 1 for B4 Esports, and they're going to rack up some damage on the safe as a result. 24% peeled off before they go back into the mid to start the tit for tat again.
Yeah, great takedown. Got to be sent for Black Lions now, and then a great position if they can just capitalize on the control here. As Dinho's surely going to go down, is still alive somehow, and actually gets the takedown. As the source of Thales now going to be smashing the damage in as Carl using that wall to perfection, and that is a lot of damage for Black Lions.
Uncontested and forcing their way through. All 3 players from B4 Esports forced to just sit and watch. Really an uncomfortable spot for them as they've barely been able to take any damage at all off of the Black Lions safe. B4 Esports got the game 1 win, but I think that their brawler comp switch and the strategy that they've employed here overall has not gotten their favor at all. And it's a massive super from Carl right on the safe again, taking it down to the single digits, and with the last throw of his pickaxe, finishes off the safe for the game 2 victory.
Bringing it back then. I'm surprised, I gotta say, that the Carl was as effective as Thales put it into practice, and just going to show that Carl is not to be underestimated here, and I do feel like he was, for me, a star player in that round, and just keeping the Black Lions dream going strong, as Before Esports had a really good first round, and match point then for Black Lions already.
Yeah, I think the Black Lions tried to use basically the same strategy that had been employed in game number 1. It's just that this time it worked. The comp that they were faced off against didn't have quite as much close-range, heavy-base damage because B4 Esports had not picked Daryl this time. And as a result, really perfect play from all 3 of them. I can't even really pick out one from Black Lions that I would say was the MVP of that last round. But just taking the maximum value out of that long-range comp and being able to dish it out on the safe when they knew that they had an opportunity, then retreating, pulling back, and reestablishing control, dominance really of the mid to be able to get an easy win that time. It wasn't even close, Art.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely Black Lions getting a bit more back to what they started off at the moment, and I'm surprised that B4 Esports didn't go back to their more tankier approach as it was, and did prove more successful for them in that first round, and definitely no change as far as I can see from Black Lions. They felt like their comp was working last time around, and why change it if it's working, Woody?
This is a complete mirror match now. Same brawlers, same star powers all around. A match point opportunity for Black Lions, and boy, man, if they win it, they have you've got to say that they deserved it. It's a complete mirror, so it's all about skill, all about coordination. There's nothing to say about a brawler swap pick that would have gone in one player's favor better or the other. Both teams are using their maximum firepower to dump as much damage in as they can, but it's going to be a Dinho from B4 Esports that gets the early hit and pulls ahead for his squad.
Ito actually stayed alive there on 88 HP. Getting even that touch of damage might make the difference. You never know, but it's a very good amount of damage. Has to be said for Before Esports. They're getting over 50% on the Black Lions safe, as VT Zim is struggling to actually holds the lane too far, going with more damage as well. It's just looking really good from Before Esports right now, Woody.
Bito in a tough spot there, used that super, but couldn't get Carl onto his opponent as quickly as he had hoped. Still, the charge from the other 2 is going to be able to make up the difference there, taking down that enemy safe to 23%. Just one more solid strike could do it, and Bito knows that he's got that aggressive opportunity now, forcing VT's in back on defense and firing away at the safe. The pickaxe is dealing a massive amount of damage. Tufa on the opposite angle for the crossfire, gets it down to single digits, 2% left!
What amazing body blocking from Black Lions there. Thales knew that it was only down to him to be able to do so, and now Before Esports need to finish this, Woody, but he's going in, he's got to have a shut down again. Black Lions are defending so well, but 2% is all that Before Esports have to do.
Cracked and shattering, Black Lions have just got their last string of health has made its way into the enemy safe, and this is going to be their final stand. They need to get this safe down here and now if they want to clutch the series. Down to the teens, 17%. Thales doing his best to provide a little bit more pressure. Fires away with the pickaxe, but can't get it down to the single digits. Advantage for B4 Esports, and they will take game number 3, tying up this match overall. What a performance from both of these squads, Ark.
My goodness me, what a set of heist. How explosive was that final game? And they went back and forth, but before Esports managing to survive. But it was very close. A valiant attempt to come back in that last round from Black Lions. It's got to be said, but not enough to stop before Esports from doing what was needed to be done.
The dream is alive for the reverse sweep from B4 Esports, but a dream from them is a nightmare from Black Lions, a squad that picked up 2 sets early on that were a bit dicey at best, able to get that massive advantage, but not able to drill in for the final blow. That hammer is falling down fast, and it's going to land on one of these 2 teams. Which is it going to be? B4 Esports, the dominant team, second place position in this region right now with the wins that they'll pick up this month, or Black Lions, the upstart challengers, the Davids trying to take down 2 Goliath squads in this region, Art.
Yeah, I've got to say, it's going to be really difficult to decide which of these 2 teams is going to be the better going into our final set of this matchup. Triple is the map. It's going to be Brawl Ball, and this map, for me, it's going to definitely change a lot of the brawler comps that we've seen. I think Mr. P probably going to come back more prominently in Brawl Ball. Maybe even some Sprout that we've seen today as well. But yeah, definitely some different brawler picks, I think, going into this particular game mode.
You couldn't ask for a better game mode to decide a 2-2 set line. Brawl Ball really does let these players leverage their own individual experience and expertise with pretty much any brawler pick that they want, and then really forces the team to work together to get that ball past the enemy goal line. It's kind of the perfect balance of individual skill and team coordination required to get the win in. So with that 2-2 line, it all comes down to this. Black Lions and B4 Esports in the fights of their life right now. This might be the closest match that we've seen in many months, and I'm really excited to see how it turns out, Ark.
Yeah, all eyes are absolutely on this. What an explosive start to the day. We've only just started, and already straight out the gates, the Latin region are not messing about, and for me, I think that this map is definitely open to something like the Slambulance, and I'll be keen to see which of these 2 teams kind of go for that pick first, or whether they both maybe go for that pick.
All right, well, it's not going to be a Slambulance pick from either squad here. We're taking throwers out. It's going to be Barley here trying to get that area of effect denial, and that was a brawler pick that was so crucial yesterday on these Brawl Ball maps. Can get a ton of damage out, and with long-range fire over these boxes, Black Lions are really going to be trying to take advantage of that early on for the win. B4 Esports going to have to struggle into overtime if they want to make the most use of these brawlers that they've chosen.
Yeah, and I think if Adinho can win his lane side, he's going to put a lot of pressure on Zero playing Jackie there, and sucks in already. Doing a great job from before Esports, pushing that right-hand side lane and forcing back now. Black Lions very much under defense, and before Esports going to try to get an early goal, it seems, with only just a couple of seconds to play now, in a great spot to capitalize if they can do so.
Yeah, a comp here that seemed to be in Black Lions' favor for the early game has actually seen B4 Esports starting to stack up the damage. Super deployed by Beto is going to give even more firepower to the B4 Esports squad up top, which have just been pummeling away. That jackhammer from Adino is hard to deny, even picking up hits against a 2v1 with BT Zim firing away at him as well. Tufa recovering now behind these boxes. No way for BT Zim to get the shots off, and with Zira focused over on the right side, that's going to be an easy pull and a knockout for Tufa. An opportunity to score. It takes it. Adino dribbles it past the line for the first goal.
A really smart play from Adino, passing the ball to the ball, popping the gadget for that additional speed. Is going in there for a second time, popping the gadget, getting shut down though quickly. Thales with the pickup, and Black Lions surviving, but that was a bit close for me, Woody.
It is not a good headline when the best we can say for Black Lions is that they are surviving, Art.
Yeah, this is the thing, and surviving is a big thing in Brawl Ball, but at the moment, it's going to be all eyes on before esports, because if they continue to survive, it doesn't even matter if Black Lions, they've got to get that goal if they're going to be able to survive in this. Before esports can take this a bit easier now, having already had that one goal on the board.
Beto throwing the ball away, though, and giving a little bit of breathing room to the Black Lions. All three brawlers up here, and they're starting to toss it in. Thales has taken some damage, though, and I don't think he'll be able to knock this ball in without a lot of luck here. Beto on defense. Thales gets pulled back by Tufa, the clutch defender here. Thales takes a shot and rolls in. That's it. He's tied it up, Park.
My goodness me, Tuba with that pull almost had a bit of a lifeline there for before esports, but now a great chance for Black Lions to turn this around in overtime if they can just hold form. But no, the takedown is there from B2, putting a ton of pressure on Black Lions. Tuba with the missed pull, but the position is very much that was saved on the line from Thales, giving Black Lions a bit of a second shot here, but the pressure is on.
Adino fired off that super, but did not get rewarded. Goalie from Thales is able to keep that ball out, and this is all up to VT Zim now on defense for the Black Lions. This long-range sniper brawler can dish out a ton of damage, but these shots are super hard to make against a squad that has not given up any hope at all. B4 Esports, with 20 seconds left, are on the offensive still. Possession in their opponent's hand, but they are continuing to pummel away at this defensive line. They're running out of time, though. We need a super shot on goal now!
VT Zim is hitting these shots like a madman. He gets Tuba with the Thales now. He's going to be lucky again. Tuba with the shutdown. Again, we've seen that for the second time, that pull, and another blocked shot by Black Lions means that we're going to be doing this all again. But what an explosive start to Brawl Ball, Woody.
The pressure ramping up for both of these squads. Hats off to Thales for picking up the Star Player Award from that first round. But wow, what a job from B4 Esports early on to get that goal. But then a complete reversal by Black Lions, drilling past the competition and denying the expert defense set up by Tufa. Time and again, he came in clutch to keep that B4 Esports squad alive, but insufficient offense to get the second goal for either squad. We're going to remain at a 0-0 set score overall, Arc.
Yeah, for me, those pulls were so essential for Tufa to hit, because if you miss those pulls, it would more than likely have failed eventually into a goal. So to make sure that you hit those under pressure is not an easy thing. I think that the Gene pick worked out really, really well for him. But as well, the B pick in overtime came into play for Black Lions as well, and some really, really accurate shots almost turned it around and gave Black Lions, for me, the advantage in that moment. But yeah, gosh, so close between these two teams.
This is a knee shaker, an ankle wobbler, a teeth biter, Arc. These two teams neck and neck. The reverse sweep opportunity for B4 Esports seems to be falling apart, though, as Black Lions have turned their aggression up to 11 and are dishing it back just as hard as they've been able to receive it. This drawn game number 1 has sent both teams back to the drawing board, trying to figure out what they can do with their brawler comps to reconfigure and find a vulnerability here. Do you expect to see any big brawlers come to play in game number 2 that we didn't see game number 1 that could give an advantage to one team or the other?
This is the thing, I was expecting to see the Samlers. That's definitely still on the cards for me, and we have seen before esports already today, definitely going with the BB pick. We've seen B2, I think, definitely favouring BB, so I think that would be a brawler which I wouldn't be surprised if before esports do bring out the pack. I don't think Sprout now. I think that both teams definitely are veering away from that. Mr. P is always a staple diet for me on this particular map. Lots of nice areas that you can place your super to kind of keep it protected, and just that continuous pressure all the time, regardless of whether you're low on health or like a medium level of health. You've got to shoot down those porters, you're not healing, and you're going to be resetting the timer to eventually start to regain that health. So Mr. P is going to keep your opposition low at all times.
It's a continuous debate among pros. Do you want to prefer that damage higher overall through the duration of the map with a brawler like Mr. P, who can just roll in like a tidal wave and deny any opportunity to push back? Or do you prefer that really high burst damage that someone like B can provide, just dishing it out when you need it the most, knocking thousands of hit points off your opponents and giving you the one key opportunity that you need to make that goal happen?
We're going to see a semi-slambulance, Woody, from Black Lions, going with the Poco, Frank, and Max for the speed, and I kind of like the idea, but at the moment it's definitely before esports have got the advantage in terms of positioning, but if that Max super can be generated and provides Zero some space to move and get close with that super, I feel like this could be a devastating comp if before esports do not stay on their toes here.
Yeah, the most interesting pick for me is going to be from Zira, going with Frank this time. He's got that sponge of a hit point pool that can take an absolute beating, but it's going to be a struggle for him on defense to keep these guys out. His super is going to knock down any wall that is set up, and what the heck just happened? A Dino drilling past the defenses. Thales and Zira caught out of position and unable to defend. B4 Esports get the first goal.
Yeah, the pressure's on Zero to keep shutting down the Dino, and then we do start to see it. We need to see more of that from Black Lions. We're going to see a virtual goal, and a great dash from V. Not able to capitalize, but a great opportunity there for Black Lions.
Tufa, the defender of the day so far, with so many clutch shutdowns, denying access with pulls, with grabs, tossing the ball away from that danger zone and keeping B4 Esports clear and ahead. A minute left now for Black Lions to try to turn this thing around. We've seen many opportunities for them to do so before, but can they get it past the goal line? A really aggressive play from Zero is going to squish Beto into a little sandwich spot there, but he is not done yet. Fires that briefcase off and takes down Thales. VT's in now unsupported. It's going to have nothing to do but throw the ball away.
Yeah, for me, Black Lions have got to be more careful of a Dinho. Leaving like Thales to deal with that is not going to cut it. Zero has to take a lot of responsibility and goes down here. Devastating moment for Black Lions as B4 Esports surely going to score. They do place it in the back of the net and will take the first round of Brawl. The pressure now is definitely on for Black Lions.
Ultimate domination for B4 Esports. The 2-0 scoreline speaks volumes. Frank and Poco not able to keep that defense up, and BT Zim doing his best to knock a few hit points off the enemies was not enough to get the job done. I gotta say, I expected more out of the Black Lions. That quasi-slambulance was not the right pick in my opinion, and B4 Esports are gonna be carrying away to a match point opportunity as a result.
You've got to be so careful with the slambulance comp. Leaving Poker to deal with some really, really troublesome brawlers like Jackie and more tankier options means that if your opponents are down and the advance is on, then you're not able to really defend. You've got to defend as a team, not as an individual, and that was where, for me, Black Lions kind of dropped the ball a bit. And if they're going to go with the slambulance, they've got to work more on keeping alive and supporting one another. I don't know that they're going to, in my opinion, actually maintain that. It wasn't really working, and they actually did a much better job in the first round, which availed to a draw nonetheless, but they definitely looked stronger in the first round of Brawl than they did in that second round.
Especially the brawlers who have such wide cones of damage like Frank and Poco both have, it's all about field control. When you have a brawler with 10,000 hit points, there's no excuse for him to be stuck past behind his own goal line. That is the only reason why Adino was able to walk the ball in, because there was basically a shattering drop of any defenses whatsoever on the Black Lions side of things. Really unexpected to see from them after having performed so well in the first couple of sets. They have got to do the same thing that B4 Esports have done in the set number 3 and 4. Find that secret sauce, get their comp built back up together, and drill in as hard as B4 Esports have aggressively played in game number 2 now to get this thing tied back up again.
Yeah, for me, go back to Jackie. That was working pretty well and able to kind of cope on that lane side much better. Keep Max is pretty good for the speed to be able to kind of like advance on the goal quickly and take before Esports by surprise. And the barley did seem like a bit of an odd pick to me, but it did work in those moments where the ball was at the further end of the field. Throwing a super can definitely lead to some great advantage points there, forcing before Esports into various positions on the map. So I would suggest going back to that original combo of Jackie, Barley, and Max would definitely serve better than the kind of semi-slambulance half kind of like committed comp that we've just seen.
I think Barley works very similar to Mr. P in this setup in that he can give a lot of long-range damage and area denial. they are going to take your advice there, Arc, so to speak, and send Barley back into action. But he's got to stay far and away from a Dino who can dish out a ton of damage short range and is playing very aggressively, exactly how you ought to be playing Frank. Zero barely surviving here to a massive strike from B4 Esports. Gets the ball out of there, but that was a little bit too close for comfort, if you ask me.
Yeah, a little bit for them, but I do feel like this comp is better. It was actually B, not the max they went for the first time around, and that was working for me. So I definitely feel like this is the first start they needed to make, the first change they needed to make, really, to start. And Dinho already struggling because BT Zim is landing these shots so well and just punishing before Esports as Thales goes in with a super, and this is a much better Black Lions for me, Woody.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Frank had to choose between taking shots from VT Zim or walking straight through the super that Zero had set up. This is why Barley is so super valuable on a map like this that has got a lot of boxes. But remember, those boxes come tumbling down when overtime starts. That's when Zero is really going to fall back behind and rely more on the sniper power from VT Zim to get the job done. This is a big opportunity for Black Lions to strike, though. They dealt a ton of damage, and there seems to be no angle of attack for B4 Esports, taking a whopping beating so far and not able to get hardly any shots off on the Black Lions.
Yeah, the control that we're seeing from Black Lions is far better here. As Dinho actually capitalizes on a very awkward spot and does pop the gadget and just gets that takedown there. But for me, Black Lions are getting a ton of area control that we're not really seeing from before Esports. It is all being led by Black Lions, forcing before Esports exactly where they want them. If they can continue that, it'll go in their favor. But right now, before Esports on the advance here, and this could be bad for Black Lions if they're not able to defend this accordingly.
Adino fires off a big super, but can't land it on any of the enemy brawlers, knocks down some boxes, and does just enough to keep that ball past the goal line. Black Lions had a chance to score there, but knocked apart by B4 Esports on a clumsy but effective defense. It's going to be even Steven once again as all three brawlers are up in the midfield here. Possession for B4 Esports gives them a slim lead, but I don't know if you'd really call it that. Taking tons of damage down from that Barley super. What a show from Black Lions. They've got possession and they're going to take this opportunity to score in overtime.
Yeah, it's B2's impasse to Zero. Zero, the ball is shut down so well by B2 and Tufa. Great teamwork from before Esports, and by far the best opportunity so far in this round for Black Lions. And B2 is still though landing shots. The slowdown, this is great from Black Lions on the return after that blunder, and this is a fantastic spot. If they can just get a goal here, it will keep the stream alive for them.
The hive is swarming. VTZM is landing shot after shot. Every single hit he gets is another super he's going to have to land even much more damage. And the BM pause. Zero waiting a second or two to shove it in B4 Esports' face, rubbing salt in the wound and tying this setup 1-1. The next game will decide it all, Arc.
My word, Woody. That was explosive. And for me, definitely what Black Lions had to do. They had to switch things up. They had to just go back to what was working. And I definitely feel like for me, before Esports going with the Frank pick may have been a bit of a downside for them. And I think they'll switch that up in the next round. But I do like this comp. Black Lions are very different in that round. By far, the stronger of the two teams, more in control and creating many more opportunities than before Esports for me.
Consistent domination by Black Lions in game number 3, and a key opportunity to get this set tied up and put them back in the driver's seat. Both of these teams need just one more win to take the match overall, and this is all going to be decided by the next few minutes of combat. B4 Esports in the fight of their lives for World Finals contention. They need to win this region today, but Black Lions still stand in their way. The reverse sweep cannot be denied without this last round of fighting. Black Lions in the challenging spot here with the 2 first set wins, but haven't been able to get that final tally up on the board. Now they finally have found the key, the magic formula to get in that position and get one last win. I gotta agree with you though, Frank was not a good pick from either team so far this set, and I think that we're gonna see the ultimate showdown of ultimate destiny next time. Both teams have figured out the perfect brawler comps that they want to run with, and it's all gonna come down to who can better use those supers in the clutch moments, Arc.
very rarely it's going to be said that we start a monthly finals like this. This is honestly going down straight to the wire, and so much more still to come today. All eyes are currently on these two teams to see which is going to have the advantage going into their next games. It's going to come down to the wire. I think for me, though, Black Lions seem to have a bit of an advantage. They seem to have kind of perfected and learned from some of their mistakes, maybe, but before esports are definitely the more experienced team in terms of a monthly finals. They've been here before, they've been under pressure like this before, whereas Black Lions are kind of newer to this and might be feeling that pressure. And what a time to be feeling it going into the final round of the final game mode.
It almost seems like Black Lions prefer to be behind in that bounty set, set number 1, and in this Brawl Ball set. They've performed better whenever they're losing. So I don't know what that says about them as a team, that they're hardy, that they've got the resilience necessary to drill through this adversity. But B4 Esports have really done an amazing job at keeping them at their top of their game. You know, Brawl Stars is sort of like tennis in that you can only really demonstrate the height of your abilities if you're up against a squad that is also extremely good and can put, you know, tit for tat at exactly the same sort of skill level that you're at. So we're taking a long time to set brawlers exactly as these teams deem them best for their final opportunity at grand victory here. And now it's time to start. The game has begun. Last one in this match, Ark.
It's him swapping out the ball, the Carl pick, and I think that might be just to kind of like cover a few bases, put some additional pressure and chip damage away. And it does seem to be working so far. It's definitely Black Lions off to a very, very good start, taking down 2 of before esports early on. The ball being forced to be pocketed, and Adinho now being zoned into by Zira and Thales on that the right-hand side.
Yeah, the cheese stands alone there. Mr. P, bird brain, but doing his best to keep that ball out of the goal. Sends it off into the corner and gives B4 East a bit of breathing room here now. Aggressive play from Thales, stabbing right into the heart of the matter and drilling all those brawlers, getting a kill even with Adinho now back on defense. It's relatively reset here, but Zira is really putting up a threatening display over here in the midfield, setting up so many bottles and dishing out the damage hard and fast.
Great catch, using a aggressive from BTs on that left-hand side. He can just get a pass, but goes to Tuva. It would have been a fantastic moment for Black Lions to capitalize from. The pass had been made, but it wasn't quite able to be done. Zira with a good split to be able to put a ton of pressure, forcing back Beto. Now Adinho all alone. This is a much better performance, a more consistent performance from Black Lions, looking to me to be the early favorite in this last round of Brawl Ball.
Zira is just painting them into a corner and denying the positioning that Tufa so desperately needs. He needs a long-range opportunity to get shots off, and he's not getting it. They're all the way back into their own spawn zone, and B4 Esports are not happy about it at all. Taking more pickaxe swings than you can shake a twig at. BT Zim gets another hit off on Tufa and takes him down. This is a 3v2 opportunity and a chance to score, but Black Lions aren't going to go in hard for the jugular just yet. They're waiting even longer, might even wait until overtime to get this last hit off. Forced back into the midfield now. It's an even Steven match once again.
The ball seems like it's been at the other side of the field for the longest time, but Black Lions are just not able to finalize this, and we're fast approaching overtime. If now before Esports can bring up the ball and get into a good position, they might be able to grab this despite the control being entirely with Black Lions for the majority of this game. It could be a snatch at the title here. What do you think? If before Esports can just get this ball out, or maybe they're going to go for the draw and just kind of admit defeat and change their brawler comp next time around, but time is ticking, Woody.
B4 Esports held control of the middle, but couldn't push Black Lions back. They just let them come straight at them and dish out a ton of damage. Nice job there to Tufa on the edge, able to take down an aggressive Jackie, and well rewarded for it. Pass up from Adino is going to be an opportunity for Beto to get even closer. Super from Tufa, it's in! B4 Esports have done it! The reverse sweep of the month! Awesome job to them, and they will keep their contention for World Finals alive.
I called it. I could see that it was a possibility. possibility. I just didn't quite believe it myself. But what a patient display from Before Esports and just timing it perfect. Tufa having that super so crucial, was actually on like 700 HP and was one shot away from going down, but it was able to secure it for Before Esports. My goodness me, Woody.
I have tingles all over Ark, the tenacity of B4 Esports to pull off a massive reverse sweep. And just look at the stat line here. So much more damage dealt by Black Lions, especially thanks to that Barley pick that they ran with multiple times in the Brawl Ball set. Were punishing B4 Esports time and again, but the goals kept coming on in. The 2-0 score that B4 Esports picked up in that second game, echoing back once again in the fourth and final game of that set. Very rarely do we see two teams so evenly matched. Falcone, toss it away.
That was one of the most grueling Brawl Stars matches I've ever seen in my life. I cannot believe that B4 were able to make that incredible comeback. And we've got to give a lot of the credit to our MVP for this match. It's going to be Tufa. And now Tufa, I mean, I want to quickly talk about that last match. The plays with Tufa as the B, just freezing and freezing the other team over and over again, hitting every single shot and eventually getting that last goal with the super. It was incredible. We saw Tufa as Max during a heist, getting a lot of nasty damage and frankly, winning some 1v1 fights that really he had no right to be winning. But seriously, we had some of the most explosive games. Heist was insane. It really was. And again, Tufa was imperative to that victory. As you see there, really pushing that major damage in, getting the speed boost, pushing the entire team forward to the enemy safe when it really counted. And there you go. You see Tufa first as Gene in Brawl Ball, getting some vital pulls there, preventing the other team from scoring, and then eventually switching up to Poco and then B at the end, where there you go. There's the goal. Oh, there are so many things that we could say about that last match, but we don't have any time. We got to look at the group. B4 Esports got their first win. The dream is alive, and now all eyes are going to be on INTZ. If they can do anything other than come in last place, then they are going to qualify. They're going to be up against Black Lions BR next. Black Lions BR, who almost took B4 Esports down, but they weren't quite able to do it. If INTZ can also take down Black Lions BR, they are going to be in a fantastic spot. But if INTZ lose to Black Lions, then the dream's still alive to B4 Esports, it has to be said. Here's the first team. It's Black Lions BR. You just saw them play. We're going to see them play again. It's Zera, Thales, and Zim. The Black Lions BR team are actually all really good friends. They claim that the others are funny friends and partners. Thales even went as far as to say that his teammates have good harmony of everyday life. It's really nice. If Zero wins lots of money, he intends to buy all of the skins. Thales says he's going to buy equipment to start creating Brawl Stars content and making lives. I wonder which of those is the better investment. We've got INTZ, Matthias, Consti, Guido, and Marcel. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. LATAM South is pretty well locked up with INTZ practically already qualified for global finals. If they can just get a single extra point on the board today by coming first or second in the group, then they have booked their ticket to the global finals. They are clearly the best Brawl Stars team that LATAM South have to offer. The Black Lions are out for blood now. Will they get their blood? We're going to find out in this next Brawl Stars match.
Thank you very much, Falcone. I'm going to let Woody have a little bit of a break because that was quite a grueling series we just had a minute ago. And Black Lions, they're going to be feeling that as well moving into this next series because they've got to take down INTZ. Bans are on your screen. No surprises here. Surge and Gale taken away.
All right, break's over. I'm ready to hop back in. Ark's going to be sitting out on this one, but I am with you here, Trid. And today we have already made history with an epic match between Black Lions and B4 Esports. But Black Lions are going to be back in it once again. Not only do they have to go up against a team that took them down to the wire with that 3-2 finish, but now they have to face off against the #1 team in the region, a behemoth of Brawl Stars competition, INTZ, the #1 squad that Black Lions said that they were finding the strongest and the hardest to compete with. They're going to be up against them today.
We're jumping onto our first map type is, of course, Siege. And what if they don't take down INTZ, then, well, they're going to have a lot of problems because it's not just their own qualification. They actually are just going to hand over qualification to INTZ because of all the legwork that's happened already. There's a lot to play for in this one. Immediate control going over to that dominant roster, and they will get that level 3 Siege spot.
Yeah, that is the story for today. INTZ just needing to get second place in order to qualify for Worlds in this region. But still, every brawler knows that it's the game right now that's happening that you got to focus on the most, and that's what's on the minds right now of these Black Lions players doing their best to defend against an Ike and keeping all damage off their safe. Great job to them there, but not a single bolt in their hands so far. INTZ with dominating control of the midfield here and really leveraging that big name and big experience pool to the best opportunity that they had with 5 bolts now, 6, 7, continuing to rack them up. They are just printing money up top, INTZ is.
Yeah, the money printer goes much Woody. And this is INTZ just preying upon a shooketh Black Lions BR team. And now there's a level 10 Siege bot coming in. You see the unhappy face from Zero there on the bottom left-hand side. Purple bot coming in round to the corner. You're looking at VT Zim to try and defend it. He's not going to be able to tank too much of it, and now that connection comes in. You're going to get about 23% HP off of it, and still the bot lead remains with INTZ looking towards this last siege.
That purple bot makes a girthy thrust into the Black Lion's face and deals 23% damage off of the Ike. It's just going to be INTZ racking up even more bolts, though. Not even a single one finally claimed by Black Lions. That one on the bottom from Thales, but it's not going to be enough to keep pace against an INTZ squad that is running roughshod over the competition. So fast-paced in their attacks and keeping their squad ahead. That is a big old level 9 siege bot to once again dominate Black Lions and drill in for the final blow necessary for victory.
Well, they don't even need to deal with the final blow with this one, Woody. The game's over. With that final siege finally out of their hands, there's no way they can get in and actually go ahead and claim a victory. So they're just going to wail away at the safe. They just do it as a cursor. It's just a bit of a celebration to get away with that one. First round going over to INTZ. An extremely dominant start from this roster.
Yeah, excellent job to them. You know that all of the adrenaline that Black Lions, garnered up in that last match has been just drained from their body. The loss from that first match must be weighing heavily on their minds, and their opportunity now to advance in this LATAM region is turning very sour very quickly. INTZ, with the pickup in game number 1, it starts to kind of show exactly what Black Lions were seeing in that first round of their match against B4 Esports. An early loss, though, isn't necessarily going to be the end of it. Black Lions is a very sturdy team that can take a hit and keep on swinging back. In fact, I said last round that they were in a better position. They seem to be playing more aggressively when they were down, but don't count them out just yet. A brawler comp switch could be all they need to get back in the action against the INTZ squad. We'll see soon in game number 2.
We're jumping into that round right away, Woody. So this is the second round of Siege coming in, and looking at the comps being brought out by Black Lions. They're going to try and challenge them, but the Piper from Marcel could pose some difficulty here, keeping VT Zim at range. They are giving away that extra bolt control in the middle and an early lead in the boltonomics for Black Lions.
Yeah, VT Zim actually keeping Marcel at range, strangely enough. That long-range hit from Marcel is a devastating blow, but not able to keep pressure up against Pam in the middle. That's going to be a bot, finally, for Black Lions. The first and only one that they've been able to get so far. That should allow them to reestablish into the mid. As soon as VT Zim gets this healing station up, that's going to be a big positional advantage for Black Lions. Expect to see it coming down very soon.
Yeah, he's popped it already, so he's hoping to hold them at this choke and not allow any space. If anything like yesterday, Woody, we're going to see Pipers committing their supers to get rid of that healing station and the terrain as well, just to remove some of the sticking power in the mid. But Marcel's not got that online for the time being, so he's going to have to get a couple of pop shots off just to get closer to it. Colter going very low down there in the back mid. They're finally going to try and get away this healing station. The bolts have been leveled out despite that forward position by VT Zim. Just need to find two more, otherwise they're going to lose it out to the next siege. So that's the bolt lead definitely in favor of Black Lions. They're trying to clear out Guido into the right-hand side. He's going to make a break for it. Takes out the healing station, but he's surely going to go down here, Woody.
You saw Marcel trying to bait VT Zim around the corner there, and as soon as he did, he was surely going to pop that super, but VT Zim never took the bait. He just stayed in that safe position, keeping that healing up and gathering even more bolts to the Black Lions side of things. INTZ thought that they could outplay Black Lions with a sneaky maneuver like that, but they did not get rewarded for it at all. They're safe now down to the 69% range as INTZ are storming back into the center, trying to regain control of this game with only 3 bolts to their name so far, and some lucky spawns here from Black Lions. That might be enough to clinch this game.
Yeah, they're getting the bolt lead already, Woody, and there's a lot of damage on this INTZ roster. If they can get a sizable bolt for the last siege and make it wail against the Ike of Black Lions, they might be able to get away with actually winning here, but they've been forced out the mid.
Oh, no!
They are going to be able to get away with the bolts. It means they are going to get that level 8 one just by the skin of their teeth. The damage has to come in here. The 20,
it sure is.
You've got to get that 31% damage in there, Woody, and they're taking out VT Zim as the bot's about to get in there, but look how much HP has already lost. The siege bot hasn't got enough HP. This is already over.
Dismantled. INTZ not supporting the bot at all, instead relying on the brawler damage, but it's not going to be enough. Black Lions have done it. Another 2% win for them in Siege will tie up this set against INTZ.
I genuinely thought the bot didn't have enough HP to even make it close on that one, Woody, but we already talked about the damage threat from INTZ's composition. They're able to go in there and find the value. They just needed maybe an extra second of their siege bot being up and healthy and damaging and drawing that aggro, and they maybe could have got away with the victory there and closed out those sets.